What if a man is lost in the middle of the ocean for months, with no food, no land, no hope, and the only thing keeping him alive is a small promise he made to his daughter? This is the story of Nelson and the quiet power of self-belief. Near the sea, there was a small fishing village. In that village lived a 40-year-old fisherman named Nelson. His house was simple, walls made of mud and a steel roof above it. Inside that little house lived his whole world. His wife, Irina, 35 years old, his 8-year-old daughter, Lena, his old mother, and a loyal dog who always waited at the door. Nelson and his 3 friends went to the sea every day to catch fish. Then they sold them in the market. Whatever money came, that was enough to run the house. People in the village often said, "The sea gives a lot, but it can also take everything." Nelson knew this truth. Some days they caught many fish, some days almost nothing. But every morning before leaving, Lena would run to him and say, "Papa, today bring a big fish for me." Nelson would smile softly. "Theek hai beta, I will try." Before leaving, he hugged Irina, kissed Lena's forehead, touched his mother's feet, and patted the dog. Then he walked toward the sea. But life is never the same every day. One morning, Nelson and his 3 friends sailed into the ocean. The sky was clear. The sea looked calm. Everything felt normal. But the sea has a strange nature. Its anger can come without warning. By afternoon, the wind grew stronger. The waves began to rise. Soon, the sky turned dark. A violent storm appeared. The waves rose like mountains. Their small boat started shaking badly. Then suddenly, a huge wave crashed into the boat. Everything broke apart. Someone fell into the water. Nelson heard his friends shouting for help. Then suddenly, silence. When Nelson opened his eyes, there was only water everywhere. No boat, no friends, no land, only the endless ocean. Somehow, he held on to a small floating piece of wood. Days passed. Sometimes he drank rainwater. Sometimes he caught tiny fish with his hands. Sometimes he stayed hungry for 2 days. The sun burned his skin during the day. The cold wind froze his body at night. Many times he felt, now everything is over. But then, one memory came into his heart. His daughter's voice. "Papa, bring a big fish for me." That small voice brought him back to life. He whispered to himself, "I cannot give up." In those lonely days, Nelson started talking to God. He prayed quietly, "God, give me strength. My family is waiting." Slowly, his belief became his strength. Hope became his breath. Back in the village, news had spread. People believed the fishermen were dead, but Irina never stopped waiting. Every evening, she stood near the sea. Nelson's mother sat at the door every day and said, "My son will come back." Little Lena told her friends, "My papa went to bring a big fish for me." Some children laughed. Waiting is a very heavy pain. Then one day, Nelson's old mother closed her eyes and never woke up again. The small house became even quieter. But Irina and Lena still waited. Their hope never broke. 4 months later, one evening something strange appeared near the shore. A small piece of wood was floating toward the beach. On it lay a very weak man. His beard had grown long. His body had become thin, but his eyes still had life. It was Nelson. Fishermen ran toward him. "How are you alive?" they asked in shock. Villagers gathered around. Irina and Lena ran through the crowd. Nelson slowly stood up and hugged them tightly. Tears fell from everyone's eyes. Sometimes life tries very hard to break us, but when self-belief stays alive inside the heart, even the biggest storm cannot defeat a human being. Nelson survived the ocean because hope never left his heart. Strength of self-belief can bring a person back from even the darkest ocean of life. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Eliza Bethel's Tales for more human stories about hope, faith, and life.